German chocolate cake. That's where we are going today, and I cannot wait to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out 4 ounces of German chocolate. Now, German doesn't mean it's from Germany. It was actually created by a man here in the US. His last name was German, and so this is why this is called German chocolate cake. But the cool thing about German chocolate, if you can find it, it comes in a bar. It's like a green color. It's in a bar, and it's 4 ounces. That's all you need. And the reason you want a German chocolate is because it's a little bit lighter in flavor. It has like, I think it has like milk and some other things already included in it. So it's not as strong as like a semi-sweet, right? We want it to balance out with what we're making in the filling. So let's start with the cake first. So the first thing is 4 ounces of German chocolate. Then we're gonna use half a cup of very hot water, okay? Half a cup. It's gonna go in here. And what we're doing is we're melting the chocolate, all right? So we're gonna do this first because we need it to be cool by the time we go ahead and incorporate it into our batter, right? So we're gonna just mix this around until all the chocolate is combined and melted, and then we're gonna leave this alone. We're gonna leave this alone while we start making our batter, okay? We got some cake flour in here. I have 2 1/4 cups of cake flour. I did want to show you this in case of those of you who maybe don't bake a lot or are starting to get into baking. What I'd like you to do is anytime that you have a cup, 2 cups, whatever, don't just dig your cup in here like this and then use that, okay? That's too dense. We want it to actually be light and fluffy. So you're always going to take the smaller one and feed it into the bigger container like this, okay? Then you're gonna scoop out the excess, and that is your cup. Please don't go ahead and just start digging into your flour. What happens is you end up getting way more flour than you need, and then your cake is going to be very dense and crumbly. And then I wanted to add about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I wanted to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, in it goes. And we're just gonna mix this together. In here, we are going to put in a cup of butter. Please make sure it is room temperature butter. Okay, room temperature, meaning I can press it. See, it has a dent, but it didn't melt, okay? Don't put in melted butter or it's gonna be an oily mess. Make sure that it is room temperature, that you can press it and it leaves a dent, and it's not cold, okay? Because if it's cold, it's gonna be taking you forever to beat it, okay? Now I wanna run this through for a few minutes because I like it to get really light and fluffy. And then we're gonna incorporate some sugar, let that get really light and airy, and then eggs. Okay, so let's do this first. We'll be right back. Scrape the bottom of the bowl. Make sure you pull up all of that butter. And then we're gonna start incorporating our sugar, right? So put that sugar in. This is 2 cups of fine granulated sugar, okay? I just like to use the fine one because it melts a little bit faster and it makes everything combine faster. You can use just regular granulated sugar, is just fine. All right, we're gonna go ahead and beat this. Once you see that your butter and your sugar is getting really light in color, then you're going to add your egg yolk. We're going to do 4 egg yolks, right? I got this cute egg separator. See that? I got this from like Pampered Chef, like, I don't know, a decade ago, I think. It's like so long ago, but I love this thing, right? So we're going to just separate the eggs from the yolk, and we're going to do 4 egg yolks in this recipe because we are going to whip up some egg whites. And that's what we're going to be folding into this beautiful light cake batter, okay? If I can actually get this thing to come off. Come off now. This thing is so good. It doesn't even want to separate. This egg is... Now we're going to go in 1 egg at a time. Room temperature. Everything is room temperature, okay? All of your ingredients. Once each egg is combined, then you go ahead and add in your next one. It's going to get really nice, rich in color too. All right. Put these in since the other one broke. Okay. Let everything come together. Make sure that you clean from the bottom. All right, get all that butter and everything that's stuck on the bottom and keep on blending. At least another, let's say another about 3-4 minutes, okay? Let's do it. While that is blending, I'm gonna put in the vanilla, all right? All right, our chocolate is cooled, right? This is why every time you think of your mise en place, when you want to put things together, always think of the steps and what needs to be done, right? Because if I would have heated up the chocolate right now, we would have had to wait to incorporate it. So make sure you think about things before you do them, right? It's called a mental mise en place, making sure you're reading through everything so you can mentally think about what steps go first, second, third, etc., right? So right now, all we have in here is our butter, our sugar, our vanilla, and eggs, right? Now I'm gonna pour in the chocolate that we made, right? We melted this beautiful German chocolate. Do it on low so that you don't get splattered. All right, make sure all of that chocolate is beautifully combined. And then we're gonna start alternating. There we go. We're gonna also be whipping up some egg whites because that's what we're folding in and incorporating, okay? So let's combine this. I'm gonna scrape the bottom because if you can see, the bottom still has a lot of streaks of yellow, means that there's a lot of butter on the bottom, right? We wanna get all of that up. It's important that it all gets incorporated, okay? It smells amazing already, and it's just chocolate. Chocolate and eggs and sugar, right? All the staples, things you need in life. Chocolate, eggs, sugar, flour, that's all you need, right? Okay, we're gonna put this back up. Let's get some of those streaks out. Okay, that looks good. Okay, now, while this is slow, or what we're gonna start doing is incorporating our dry mixture with our wet mixture, and we're gonna be alternating, okay? Dry ingredients and buttermilk, and we're gonna do that gently, okay? And then we're gonna whip our egg whites so that we can start incorporating our egg whites. Now, I only have one bowl, so we're gonna have to clean this bowl and then switch it out so that we can do our egg whites. I should buy another bowl because this is it's gonna take more time than it should, right? So mix this together, a little bit of flour, a little bit at a time, okay? You're gonna start with flour, end with flour, okay? Buttermilk, it's a cup and it's at room temperature, okay? Just pour a little at a time. And in we go with another bit of the flour. Turn this down just a little bit. I don't want to wear it. Especially because hubby and I are thinking about going to a light show and I want to make sure I still look clean when we go. All right. We're going to put in our buttermilk. And it's only a cup of buttermilk, okay? So it's not a lot. And we're gonna go ahead and finish off with our flour. All right. That is pretty good. I'm gonna turn it off really quick. I just wanna scrape some of this. Always scraping, right? You're always keeping an eye on that. Make sure you do, because if you don't, you're gonna have like lumps of things in your cake that can ruin the texture of your cake. And you don't want that, right? You want it all beautifully combined, but you have to make sure you're scraping and you're doing your job, right? Like, I think that's everything, right? Whether you're baking, cooking, life, it's just making sure you have everything in its place the way it's supposed to be, so that your end result can be amazing, right? If you don't put in the effort, your end result will be sloppy and it will not be what you want it to be, right? And when I start, with coaching people, things like that, I always realize that that's a big component of it, is making sure that you're taking the time to know what it is that you want to put out in the world and what you want to do, so that it comes out the way you are envisioning it, right? Okay, look at that. Beautiful, right? Beautiful, smooth, and done. Okay, now I do want to whisk the egg whites, right? And I don't think I have, no, I don't. I don't know where my other one might be somewhere else. So we'll just do this. We'll put this in a bowl and we will whisk in the egg whites, right? So we'll do the egg whites next. All right, I'll be right back. Let me clean up. Let me put this in a bowl and let me get the egg whites in a clean bowl so we can beat them. Be right back. All right, so all I did was I transferred our batter into this bowl. Now I'm gonna whip up some egg whites, and it's the same 4 eggs that we did before, but we separated them, right? So now we're gonna do the egg whites on soft peaks. So we don't want it to be stiff peaks, but we don't also want it to be loose. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so that takes about maybe 4 minutes, right? And so I will show you what this looks like. So when this goes up, it goes over. See that? You see that? That is a very soft peak, okay? If it goes a little more, it's gonna be stiff peak or medium peak, but this is what we want. We want it to go over a little bit softer. This is, maybe needs another minute or so, right? It's a little soft right now. So we're gonna do another minute, maybe 30 seconds, just to get it a little bit as a peak, because it's not there yet. Let's do it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so when we lift it, it goes over, but it's soft. See that? Boom. Okay. Now that we have this in the soft peak that we do, okay, we are going to now fold this in to our cake. So what I like to do is I usually like to take about a quarter of the mixture, or a third, and I like to mix it in vigorously first, okay, just like this. Okay, and then once I incorporate that first third, now I'll fold in the other 2/3. Okay, we got that. And all I'm gonna do here is just go around. Once that's incorporated, we put in the last bit. All right, here we go. Go from the bottom up and go all the way around. Okay, and then once you see that there's no more of the egg looking, around, like you can see how I have some streaks here. Okay, we don't want that, right? We want that fully incorporated into our batter. And all this does is lighten up the batter like a sponge cake, right? Makes it nice and light, and we are good. There we go. Okay, don't overmix. Don't get crazy, okay? There's a little bit of egg white on the spatula, so let's get that in there. All right, once that's done, now what I need is to weigh out each cake layer, because I want it to be super even when I bring it to the event, right? So first thing I do is I spray my pans, and then I add a little bit of flour, and then I put in a paper, right? We're gonna spray this pan, okay, on the bottom and on the sides. Okay, then we're gonna put in a little bit of flour, and then we're gonna cover. So what we do is we hit the side of the pan, just like this, okay? And all you're doing is going all the way around until you reach the up angle of the pan, right? The upside of the pan, just like that. Okay? You're trying to cover the whole pan so that the cake does not stick. All right? Once you cover that, see it's all the way up and around? I like to add the extra paper. This is just me. You don't have to do this. I like to spray a little bit on the paper, right? And then I like to take the rest of this flour and go on top. You don't have to do this. This is just me being extra, okay? And then you just dump this out. All right, see that? Okay. All right, perfect. So now we have 3 of them, okay? Take any extra flour out of your pan. You don't want it to be a whole bunch of flour. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna weigh each one. So this batter gives you about 1,800 grams of batter. And what you're gonna do is separate them into 600 grams each, okay? That's 1,800, so 600. So I'm gonna make sure this is on grams. It is. I'll put this on here. It's zeroed out. And now what I'm gonna do is just put 600 of the batter in here, okay? Okay. All right. That is 683. So we're gonna take some of this out. Okay, that's 612. All right, we're gonna leave it there, okay? 606. All right, we're gonna do that for each pan. Gonna be making a mess over here, okay? 6. Do that again. You know, sometimes it's easier. Let me see if this trick will work. Sometimes it's easier to put it elevated so you can see the bottom of your scale, okay? Okay, let's put this on grams. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing again, 600, right? I would say you can do this by cups too, but I just think that when you weigh it, you're just a little bit more accurate. Okay, put this to the side. And then we have our last one, which looks short to me. So I might have the wrong calculations on this. All right, let's see. I might have the wrong calculations, y'all. Which tells me I may want to separate these two. This looks a bit short. I should have weighed the batter. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I went back to the wrong one. All right. Yep. All right. So I am off. I am off by like 300 grams. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 125 because I'm about 250 grams away. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take and add 125 grams to each of these. I'll see, it's actually, I must weight it. Hold on. Now, this is extra, of course. You don't even have to do any of this. You can just measure with your heart and measure with your eyeballs, right? Because the truth is it's really what you want to do and how you want to do it. I just wanted the cakes to be as even layered as possible. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it like this, but it is absolutely not necessary. Absolutely not necessary. Okay, good. Now we're gonna put the rest of this in here. Can you believe the mess I'm making? What a mess. Okay, this is what happens when you're true life baking and you're doing it in real time. Okay, there we go. Good. All right. So now we're just going to make sure that these layers are even. Okay. Just try to get them at the edges as well, because what happens a lot is cakes dome, right? And I have those strips that you can use that you soak in water that help it not dome. But of course, I didn't bring them out. So, all right, there we go. So I'm gonna have to recalculate this recipe for you, but right now it's making 2 9-inch pans, okay? And I don't mind it because I'm gonna end up slicing them in the center anyway so that I can add the filling, all right? So when we come back, I'm gonna make sure that we make the filling. Now the filling is super easy, but it is delicious, and it's a filling that I've used on like butter cookies and things like that to make like a play on Samoa cookies, those cookies that you can get from the Girl Scouts. I love those cookies. So I use this filling to make the play on that. So, all right, here we go. We have 2 9-inch pans, definitely not 3. 2 9-inch pans. So I will go ahead and make this cake. I'm going to put this in the oven at 250 degrees. Okay. We're going to check it in about 30 minutes and see where we're at. And then when we come back, we're going to go ahead and make that filling. Okay. We'll be back. All right. Let's get our coconut pecan filling done, because we're going to use this in between the layers and on the top, right? So in here, I'm going to put a cup of evaporated milk. All right, we're going to use 1 cup of that. We're going to use 1 cup of sugar. Yes, ain't nobody said this was going to be sugar-free. Okay, 1 cup of sugar. That's going to go in. And we're also going to put in 3 egg yolks. Now, I'm going to put this in now while the pan is not hot, right? Because what do you think happens if we put it in while it's hot? We're going to get scrambled eggs, right? So we might as well whisk this in really well while this is actually warming up, so that it all warms up together and we don't have that accident happen of making scrambled eggs, right? So this is going to come to temp, and we are going to, like, I don't know if you can hear that. You hear that? That's a lot of the sugar is still in the bottom, right? It's going to start to smooth out as the sugar starts to melt, right? And I couldn't find my silicone whisk because I hate using metal with non-stick. So we're just going to go ahead and whisk this a little bit. All right, y'all. Okay. And then we are going to cover this and let this go for a little bit. But I do want to add a half a stick of butter, right? So we want to add half a cup of butter, which is a stick. So we're going to use 1 stick, which is half a cup. Let me get my measurements right, y'all. Okay, we're going to throw that in here as well. And basically, we're building up like this really nice caramel, right? I'm going to melt this butter in here as well. And we're going to make this, it's going to become a really nice, beautiful, thick syrup, right? Because with the milk and the sugar and the fat and the butter and all of this great things, it's going to become nice and thick, which is what we want. This is going to cook down for about 10 to 12 minutes. And then we're going to add our sweetened coconut and our pecans. All I did for the pecans is I had gotten halves. Okay. I toasted them up in a pan. Just a few minutes, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. Let the oils release, let them get a little toasty. Then I took them out. I'm letting them cool in here, and then I'm going to chop them up into pieces. Okay, and then we're going to do pecan pieces and coconut right into this mixture. Okay, so we're going to remove this from the heat. Vanilla goes in, coconut goes in, pecans go in, and then we let everything cool completely before we put it on the cake. All right, so the cakes came out. They look really good. They're nice and spongy. So we're gonna let these cool. They're pretty cool now, but we're gonna let them cool completely. And we still have to let this cool as well. And we are also going to be making a very nice chocolate frosting to go on the outside of this cake. I'll show you what that looks like in about 10 minutes or so. We're gonna cover it and let it continue cooking, all right? Once it's gotten really, really thick, you can pull it off of the fire, okay? And now we are going to add the other ingredients. So the first thing I'm going to add some vanilla, okay? I'll stir that in. I'm gonna add my shredded sweetened coconut, okay? And I'm going to add my pecans, okay? Or pecans. I toasted these up and then I just put them in this little manual food processor and blended it, okay? And this is going to be your filling and your topping, okay? So we're gonna let this cool, okay? And when this is cooled, we're gonna layer our cakes with it, and then we're gonna top the whole thing with a chocolate buttercream, okay? So we're gonna let this cool down. It's gonna thicken as it cools, all right? We're gonna put this to the side, let that cool down. I would taste it, but it's hot right now. And then your cakes came out as these really nice layers. See that? Okay. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just even them out if we can a little bit. Like this layer, we put a little bit of batter in. Remember, we put a little extra batter? So this layer is a little bit thicker, but it didn't dome very much. So I can just smooth out the dome a little bit and layer these bad boys together or cut them in half and make it 4. But we will take care of this when we come back. We're going to then make a chocolate buttercream to finish off this entire cake. All right, so we will see you in a little bit. All right, okay, so I went out to dinner with my hubby. I came back, cakes are cool, to have them in the fridge. I am going to make the buttercream now, okay? So this is the mixture that's gonna go on the inside. You see that? It's delicious, it's soft, oh, look at that, beautiful. Okay, that's gonna be for the filling and a little bit for the top, okay? Right now, what we're gonna make is a chocolate buttercream. And so what I did is I went ahead and melted 4 ounces of dark chocolate, okay? See the consistency? Like a very thick syrup, okay? We're letting that cool down. While that's cooling, we're gonna beat these, the butter. So I have a 1.5 cups of butter in here. I'm gonna do 1 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, okay? And 4 cups of powdered sugar, but we're gonna do this in stages, all right? So the first thing is we're gonna beat the butter until it's light and fluffy, and then we'll add the cocoa powder, and then from powdered sugar, we're gonna put a little bit of salt, vanilla, a little corn syrup, and the corn syrup is to help because a lot of times when you're making like an American buttercream with the powdered sugar and the butter and everything, it becomes grainy. I don't like that feeling at all, right? So I put in a little bit of corn syrup to help smooth that out. And that way it's nice and silky and shiny, but we're gonna see what that looks like, right? So right now let's beat this butter and then we'll go ahead and add our cocoa powder. Okay, now if you can see on the overhead camera here, it is fluffy and light. I don't know if you can see how light and fluffy that is. Okay, do you see that? Beautiful, right? So the one thing I want to do always is scrape your bowl, y'all. Scrape your bowl, okay? It's very, very important. Or you're gonna have chunks of butter on the bottom that didn't get whipped and it's not gonna be as light and airy, right? So make sure you scrape that bottom. Sometimes, I wish there was a tool that you can put in here that'll just take the whole thing and just scrape the whole bottom for you. I mean, I know they have those spatula batter beaters, but I don't know. There has to be a better way, right? There has to be a better way. Maybe I just need a different type of mixer. I don't know. All right, we're gonna mix it for a little bit just because I had chunks of butter on the bottom, and then we'll add the cocoa powder. The next thing I'm going to do is start adding the cocoa powder and the powdered sugar, which I sifted. And the reason I sifted the powdered sugar, and I know I told you guys before, don't worry about sifting and all that kind of stuff. But for the powdered sugar, I do because, as you all probably know, powdered sugar is just regular white sugar that has been put through like a blender, and then it becomes light and fluffy. You can make powdered sugar at home. But sometimes what happens is when you don't sift it, you'll get actual bigger grains of sugar, right? And it can kind of mess things up. So that's why I sift it, but you do you, right? All right, I'm gonna just put a little bit of the cocoa powder. I think I'm gonna use a spoon and start putting in a little bit of the powdered sugar. And you see I have everything on really low, right? Because if it's too high, too fast, it can start to like spread all over the house, right? So I don't want that. So medium to medium low, get it mixing. It'll come together. Just be patient, give it some time. It'll be fine, okay? All right, so now you see it starting to mix. I'll put a little bit more of the powdered sugar. I'm sorry, cocoa powder. Okay, put that in. All right, and lower it and start putting in your powdered sugar, okay? This is gonna look dry, but we're adding other ingredients, okay? So be patient. Be very patient. All right. Okay. Now a little bit higher. Okay. See how it's coming together? Okay. That's all about patience. It's just the butter has a lot of the coating on the outside, which makes it really like dry. But if you give it a chance for the butter to get mixed in there, it'll start to come together. So don't get nervous when you see it look so dry, okay? Remember, we're adding melted chocolate and we're adding some corn syrup. So it's all gonna work out, okay? All right, as this is going, we're gonna put in some more of our powdered sugar. I like doing little bits at a time because I wanna make sure it gets really incorporated. That's why I do it usually in 3 batches. And it's coming together. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, I'm gonna wipe down the side of the bowl, right? We're gonna put in a little bit of salt. And we're gonna put in some vanilla. Okay? Now let that mix for a little bit. We're gonna put in our melted chocolate. But I wanna scrape it down first. All right. You see that? It looks really soft and really chocolatey, right? And it is, like I said, it's gonna take a moment. Don't worry about how dry it looks, okay? It's all gonna come together. Trust the process. Trust the process, okay? Trust the process. Okay. I'll go up again. All right. Now I just wanna whip it for a little bit. Bring it down a little. Okay, now I'm gonna take the bowl out for a second because there's a lot of powdered sugar on the top and there's some dry on the bottom. Do you see that? It's still very dry down there. So let's scrape that up. All of that goodness on the bottom. We want that. Okay, that's what the thing is with these bowls too, right? Like you're hoping that everything can reach the bottom of the bowl, but it doesn't always, right? So, and I know it needs room for the ingredients, so that's why they don't put the thing to touch all the way at the bottom. I'll put that back in. We are going to lift our bowl and start putting in our melted chocolate. So I'm using melted dark chocolate, okay? Because the German chocolate that we mixed in earlier has a lot lighter flavor, I now can use a little bit of the dark chocolate. What I told you before was don't use dark chocolate in the cake because it becomes overpowering, okay? Turn that down a little bit. And we're gonna pour in our chocolate. It's cooled now, okay? Yes, it's completely cool. And the way you know that it's cool, touch the bottom of your bowl, okay? The bottom of the bowl is cool, your thing is cool, okay? So let's turn this up a little bit, just a tiny bit. There we go. And we're gonna start pouring this in. And this is 4 ounces of melted dark chocolate. It's like putting the chocolate all on the side of the bowl, which is not what I want, right? I want to have all of this goodness in the actual mixture. So put this in. Hold on, I want to make sure I get everything. It's very important that we utilize everything we have, right, to create what it is we are trying to create. And now we're going to add our corn syrup. And as we need, we're going to start putting in a little bit of heavy whipping cream. And I mean a little bit, like 1 tablespoon or 1/2 teaspoon at a time. But we have about 3 tablespoons that I put to the side that I try to pour in, because every time you do this, it's going to be different. The moisture in the air, all of those kind of things, right? The kind of cocoa that you use, all of that. And I don't want you to overdo it. All right, so for the corn syrup, all you're gonna do is 1/4 cup, okay? So we're gonna put that in. And we're gonna end up whipping this on high with the corn syrup for about 4 or 5 minutes, okay? And then we're gonna add in our heavy cream if needed, okay? And the way you know if it's needed is by the consistency that you're looking for. What is it that you want to spread, okay? Let's put this bad boy on high for about 3 to 4 minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, every once in a while I want you to come in and scrape your bowl, okay? Just make sure you're scraping everything. Super important to get everything incorporated. Okay, what I like, or what I'm looking for, is for it to look smoother. Like this looks a little bit smoother than it did when I first put it in. So the other test that I do, hold on, let me just scrape away here. Scraping. I feel like that's my life lately, just scraping everything. All right, sometimes I feel like that in life, period. Like you're just scraping by, right? You just feel like you're scraping by in life. But you know what happens when you keep on scraping? It ends up coming together, right? All right, so let's see. Take this. Okay, good. Good. It lost that grainy taste and feel that you get when you do powdered sugar buttercream, right? Or classic buttercream. Okay, we're gonna put this up. I'm gonna put this on low for now. I'll put it on, I think that's 2. And we're just gonna use a little bit of heavy cream, like a teaspoon at a time, okay? Because we wanna make it smooth, but I don't wanna make it soupy. I wanna make it spreadable so that I can spread it on the chocolate cake, right? A little bit more. We're using about 3 tablespoons is what I put to the side. Okay. And chocolate everywhere. I always get chocolate everywhere. All right, turn this down a little bit. I want to use the rest of my cream. So that was about 3 tablespoons, right? Okay. All right, we're gonna scrape one more time. Okay, this is good. This is good. It has a nice smooth texture. As I'm even pressing it down, it's not giving me the resistance it was giving me before, which is good. Take it for a spin one more time for about another minute or so. Then we're gonna take it out and we are going to put this in piping bags because we're gonna pipe the cake. Now, hopefully I can get this cake done tonight, but if not, I will do it in the morning. So let's see where we are, okay? Let's see where we are. we are good. Our chocolate frosting is done. Okay. All right. All right, good. This looks exactly like I want it to look. So nice and chocolatey and beautiful. Okay, so I'll put that there to the side. I put the cakes in the fridge or in the freezer for like 15-20 minutes. And that's just because I want to cut into them and I don't want them to fall all over the place, right? So let me go grab some cake boards and I will be right back. So see how the cake is? It's nice and light and it's fluffy. It's very well, done, good crumb, but it is really delicate, very, very delicate, right? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pipe a little border of chocolate around the edge. So all I did here is I took a piping bag. I'm using a very standard round tip. I put this in a cup, just like this. And all I'm gonna do is fill it, okay? So I'm just gonna fill this bag with this buttercream. We could always refill it, right? So I just want to use enough to pipe a border, right? Lift it up, press down, twist, okay? And then all we're doing is piping a chocolate border. Now, the reason we're doing that is because we are going to ice the outside of this cake. And I don't want the pecan coconut filling to come out, right? So pipe a nice border right around the edge. I usually go around twice because I'm just extra. I just like doing things as best I can right the first time. So I'm gonna do it 3-4 times because my ADHD be playing with me and I'll be wanting to do things like over and over and over again. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this filling or some of it. I'm going to pop it in the center here. You know what I forgot? I'll tell you what I forgot. I forgot a little bit of my simple syrup, which this cake is super moist, but I do like to wet my cakes a little bit. Okay, done. Now we're just going to take this filling and spread it out. This is a German chocolate cake, which is, yeah, it's interesting, right? Because he, when he created this, I think it's John Sherman or Joshua Sherman or something Sherman. He used he made German, what they call German chocolate, because he wanted to make it a very delicate chocolate flavor to go with the delicate cake and all that, right? But this is a very sweet cake, especially because of the coconut and pecan and sugar that goes in the layers, right? Now people do this very differently. There's like rustic and all these other, ways that people do it where it's just, coconut oozing out of the sides. I like that, but I think this looks pretty when I go ahead and put the chocolate on the outside, decorate the top. That's just me, right? I just like it. All right, so once you put in enough filling, because remember, we're making this like a thin 4-layer cake, right? So I got that. I'll put this on top. Okay, make sure it's as even as you can get it. Okay, just like that. All right, we're gonna pop this back in while I get the other cake. The other cake was very soft, and so I wanted to make sure that I left it in there for a little bit longer. Okay, we're gonna pop this back, and then we're actually gonna take this out again as we're layering everything. All right, so let me pop this back, and let me grab the other one. It is a thin layer, right? I need to get my cake board. All right, this one is really small, right? Because remember, we had a little bit less batter in this one, which I'm gonna put the right calculations for you in the recipe, okay? I thought it was 1,800 grams. It turned out to be more like 1,500 grams, so it was a little bit less than I wanted. So that was my bad, my calculations. Okay, what you do with a knife, you hold the knife straight to the body like this, hand on the top, and then try to find, lean over, okay, and try to find the middle of the cake. Now, what you're doing is you're keeping your hand steady and you're allowing the turntable to kind of guide your hand. Okay, so see how I'm not moving my hand? I haven't moved my hand yet. Okay, so let the turntable guide your hand. Now, I'm going to move back just a little bit because my knife's going way in. Okay, now the knife is going in. Now I just met with the same cut I just made. Okay, now slide it, turn. I'm still allowing my hand to be pinned to the side. And all I'm doing is every time I go around in the circle, all I did was allowed my blade to keep going little by little in the cake, okay? Because if you don't do that, you won't get even pieces. Like this even came out a little bit more uneven than I'd like. But make sure your hand is tucked in. Your knife is basically the extension of your hand. And as you're cutting, see what that looks like? Okay? You're gonna let the blade, the board and everything guide the blade. The blade isn't moving, the board is, the cake is, okay? Got it? All right, cool. Now, a little bit of simple syrup. Okay? Okay. Piping. So remember, gotta do the border first. Okay? Go around the border. How many times? 2 times. I like to go around twice. All right, good. Now, got a beautiful, nice border. It's nice and it's tall and it's secure, right? It's securing your edges. All right, now spread this out. We are going to place this on top of the other cake. Yeah, it probably would have been easier to do it while I had it on there, but I didn't do it that way. So there you go. You forget things as you move, right? I've been doing this for so long, and yet I'm like, why am I doing this technique backwards? I don't know. Just the way my brain works. All right. Sometimes I do things ass backwards, y'all. It's just how it is. Okay, let me go get the other cake so that we can layer this, okay? All right, here we go. Now this has a little bit of a dome. I think I'm gonna just slightly cut it off, not much, right? So it's not even that big of a dome. Maybe I should just leave it be. Yeah, it's so slight that I'm gonna leave it, okay? So what I'm gonna do is a little bit of simple syrup. It is gonna leak because I didn't cut the edges. Neena Perez, Neena Perez, Neena Perez. All right, okay, so now border, tie it. Now, this is such a rustic cake. If I was making this, let's say, for a wedding or a birthday, yeah, I'd be sitting here perfecting each layer like you would not believe. But this is for a bunch of amazing human beings, and we're literally just hanging out, having a nice event together. and it doesn't have to be so formal. If it was formal, I'd kind of be in trouble because this is not evenly layered, right? And we want this evenly layered. But thank God, these are just really good friends that just want me to bake for them. And I'm more than happy to do it, right? They're such good people, man. Such good people. All right, there we go. All right. I'll leave a little bit more of a layer. Probably have to make more filling. Okay, this goes now on top, since I decided to do things ass backwards. Make sure they're even, or as even as you can get them. Okay, and then this will be our top. Okay, now, make sure it's even. Okay, all right, here we go. Now I'm going to even this out a little bit more. Crumbs everywhere. That's what happens when you have a delicate cake. Okay, we are going to take this now, and I'm gonna shave the sides a little bit. I'm just gonna shave some of these sides. You see how I'm doing that? Let me see if you can see. Yes, you can. Okay, I'm not going crazy. I don't want to dig into the cake. I just want the cake to be even. This, oh, I just moved you. Come on now. I just moved you. There we go. This cake is so delicate, and I haven't, because I'm doing this video for y'all, I haven't let this cool down in the fridge, right? Because usually by now, it's a little bit harder, so it's much easier to work with, okay? But Neena's rushing, which I shouldn't be doing, but I am, okay? All right, now, good. I hate working in a mess, so give me a second. My students will tell you I'm always walking by. What is that? What is that? Clean that up. What is this? Why are you doing that? Clean that up, please. At the end of the semester, they're like, oh God, Chef Neena. It's okay. I'd rather them be annoyed, but still be doing things properly than them liking me and not doing things properly, right? Although they do like me and they do things properly, so that works. All right. The thing is, in your home kitchen, you don't have a Chef Neena like sitting there telling you to clean up your mess, right? You can do it however you like. Unless you take one of my classes, and then you'll have me do it. Okay. Good. Just gonna clean off some of this here. All right. All right, so all I'm gonna do, if I can find, all right, all quick is do a little bit of a crumb coat. All right. So I'm just going to literally just crumb the sides. Okay. I'm gonna crumb the sides of this cake. I can't do it that way though. I'm left-handed. I have to do it this way. All right. I don't know how to do it the opposite way. But all I'm doing is that. All I'm doing is crumb coating. Nothing special, nothing huge. All I want to do is try to keep all of the ingredients, the pecan filling and everything inside, and I'm trying to clean up what the outside will look like, okay? So that's all I'm doing. Really easy crumb coat. I have to find a way to put the camera in an angle that you can see what I'm doing because I'm left-handed. And when you're left-handed, at least for those of you who are left-handed who feel the way I do, I feel like we do a lot of things backwards. So unfortunately, I can't do it the other way. So it just is what it is. Okay, so once I just quickly do a rough crumb coat on the sides. We are gonna pop this bad boy in the fridge, and I'm actually gonna pop it in overnight because I'm tired and it's getting late. And I still have my peppermint cheesecake to make, which if you can click somewhere around here or on my channel and you're going to see a peppermint bark cheesecake. It was requested by lots of people, and so I've made it, and I made a video of it so that you can start making it yourself and maybe selling it yourself, right? Maybe some people can buy it from you guys. Okay, that's it. That's it, right? Yes. Comes on here, looks good. Okay, and that's it, y'all. I'm not even gonna crumb the top. That doesn't matter to me because the top is going to be a lot of frosting and then pecan coconut filling on the top. And I'm also just gonna give it another coat on the sides anyway. So I am good. I feel good about this. And this is going to stay for the evening in the fridge. When I come back, I will show you how to put this all together. Okay, good, let's see. Hi y'all, okay, it's the next morning. I did cover this now in our chocolate. You see that? It's beautiful. What I'm gonna do now is just kind of run my blade through it really quick. So I've already got it covered. Oops, got snagged, 1 sec. There we go. Come on, what is going on? Hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna go around. All I'm doing is smoothing out the sides as best I can. All right, and then we're going to add a little bit more frosting on the split on the places where it's divoting, right, where it has some divots. All right, so here. Now, I know you probably can't see me on the camera, putting it on the sides. All right, but see, basically I'm filling in all the places where it has like a dent, right? Where it needs more frosting. Okay, the top I'm leaving rustic. I'm not playing with that because I'm going to put just a little bit of piping on the top with a little bit of the coconut, and I want to put the frosting that we made, right? The filling, the coconut pecan filling in the center. All right, so that's looking pretty good. We're gonna leave that alone. Perfect. Okay, I want to leave it rustic like that because I'm going to, like I said, try to pipe in a border. Okay, so What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this piping tip, it's just a star tip, and I'm just going to pipe the top. Doesn't have to be crazy. This is a very rustic cake. I'm trying my best not to be a perfectionist right now because I get in the weeds so badly when I'm making cakes. And I want this to be a very, very rustic, homemade looking, lovely cake. And I know me. I'm already looking like, oh wait, but what about that line? But what about this line? Don't do that to yourself. I want you to enjoy this, okay? So anyway, once you have all of that, you take your mixture, the coconut filling mixture that you made before, and that's going to go into the center, all right? This is the last little bit of it left. Every layer got some in there, right? And now we're just going to spread this as far as we can in the border. All right, and now all I'm gonna do is take a little bit of the coconut. I'm gonna go on the outside. You wanna let people know what's in it. Even though it's German chocolate cake, right? People know that there's coconut in it. But you should always think about when you're making anything about how you can add some of the element that you're putting into the actual product actually inside of or on decoration so that they can see, right? I mean, maybe if you're using rosemary in your meal, you want to maybe put a sprig of rosemary on top, right? And so then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to just lay some of these pecans. Hopefully I have enough to go around the border. It's this kind of stuff that, like, I don't really want to think too much about it. I just want to do it, right? I just want to have fun and bless my friends and, you know, enjoy doing a video and all of that, right? And sometimes when I get into the intricacies of what it means to teach or what it means to have a perfect product or anything like that, you can get very, very much into your own head and into the weeds, and then you just can't, you know, kind of see that you have created something beautiful because you're so caught up in the perfection of everything. And that can lead you to a very long, arduous path that I don't want to go on, right? I mean, all my life I've been this perfectionist. Everything has to be perfect. The cakes I have done have been phenomenal, right? And I've had a great time doing them, and they were so fun. And I've done competitions and I've done all these things, and they've been great. I will say though that there's something to be said about pausing, about slowing down, about just being and just being around friends and having a way to just love on people and have people love on you, and not being perfect about every freaking thing all the time, right? So I'm enjoying this, and I'm not going to let anything ruin it, because knowing me, I will let something ruin it, and I will be all upset and bent out of shape because it's not the best, blah, blah, blah. And that's just how I roll. My husband's always very encouraging. He's always like, well, I don't know why you do that, because you're excellent at what you do and blah, blah, blah. And I just don't always see it, right? I don't think we ever see the good in ourselves or how good we are at something, and then imposter syndrome comes in and you don't think you're good enough and nobody's gonna like it and all this other stuff. I'm sure I'm not the only one on this planet who feels that way, but you know, I do go through that, and I don't want to. You know, you become a little older. I'm 53. Like, I don't want to keep doing that, right? I just want to do certain things that I want to do. Like, I want to be healthy, and I want to be strong, and I want to be a good wife and a good mom, and somebody who loves people, and somebody who goes out and takes care of those in need and receives. And that's all I want. Like, that's all I want. I sanitize my countertop, by the way, in case those of you who are watching are like, oh my gosh, she's picking it on the counter. I had to sanitize, wash, rinse, and sanitize the entire counter because I'm paranoid that way. Right? So anyway, I just want to tell you guys to slow down, take your time, you know, allow good things to happen, right? Allow good things in your life. I'm going to clean up the sides of this, right? And then we're done, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm doing this because I want to. This is like a fun thing for me. And if it's supposed to be fun, I don't want to sit here and make everything so complicated. And I just have a tendency to do that, make everything complicated. And I'm really trying not to do that, right? I think it's my ADHD. The fact that I'm trying to recover as a perfectionist. It's funny because I always say I'm a recovering perfectionist. No, I'm not. I'm still a perfectionist, and I'm trying my hardest to improve. That's all it is. I'm just trying my hardest to improve, because I can get to the point where I'm crying. I mean, I remember when I went to college, I was a 4.0, and I was so proud of that 4.0, right? And then I was so mad because when I went for I think it was my bachelor's. I don't remember if it was my bachelor's or associates, but on one of them, the teacher gave me an A- instead of an A+. And I cried like it was nobody's business. I cried. Now you're talking about someone who barely made it out of high school, right? Because I had a son at 15 years old, and I never went to college. I couldn't, because I had to take care of a kid. And so when I went back, I was already an adult. I was 35 years old, and I had something to prove to myself and to my family that I was worth it. You know, sometimes you just have to understand that you are worth it, because God took his time to create you and put you in this world. And our life is so short. In 100 years from now, nobody will know me or my name, but the people that I'm around now do. And so that's what I focus on. So anyway, guys, this is your German chocolate cake. I don't know who gets emotional over German chocolate cake, but when you're making something out of love for people that you love, it brings you to this place of gratitude. So guys, enjoy this. This is absolutely beautiful and amazing. And yes, there's a couple of steps, because you got to make the frosting, and then you got to make the filling, you got to make the cake and all of the things, but it's so worth it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This was really, really fun. It was a fun rustic project to do. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. This is Neena Perez, and this is the Purpose-Filled Kitchen. This is where food and purpose and faith all meet and collide. All right, I'll see you on the next one.